right, so everyone, big round of applause for our creative project planner and angel to the stew, Onicia Moser. Oh boy. Thank you for calling customer service. This is Onicia. How can I help you?
Oh shit. This is a lady? We don't get ladies here too often.
Are you calling to file a claim under or over $600?
Under? This is a small claim. This is itty bitty. I'm not spending a lot of money today. Hey, where are you calling from?
Chicago.
So when are you going back to Jamaica? I am not from Jamaica. Do you have the last 8 digits of the VIN or the customer's contract number? Oh, I thought I heard an accent. Just, the customer's VIN number and contract number. This is some memories from my time at a call center for a vehicle warranty company. Now I can tell you stories about ignorant, laughable customers, like the woman who was upset that she kept her rental vehicle even after her car was repaired, and then was very upset to learn that the insurance company would not be paying for those additional days of rental. I said, ma'am, your car was repaired, so you should return your rental. And she was like, yeah, but ain't nobody reading those things. By those things, she meant her contract. And I was like, ma'am, it is in your contract. And also logic. She replied, well, the next time, if I'm not sufficiently informed, if someone doesn't send me a reminder, I'm going to write you guys a letter. Right on, girl, right on. I could tell you about the time when a woman called and I kept repeating, ma'am, the make and model of this vehicle does not match the one on this contract. And then she says, of course it doesn't. This is my husband's vehicle, and I'm calling about my contract. And I was like, is there damage to your vehicle? No, my husband's car is damaged, and I want to file a claim on my insurance. I was like, this contract is for your car. But can't we just pretend that it's my car? Ma'am, these calls are recorded. Can I help you with anything else? And I could go on for days and days with stories like these. But the real Shiesty people is an insurance company. Under California law, we are supposed to tell or disclose to the customers everything that is within their rights on their contract, even if they're not about to use it. However, the company's internal policy is don't ask, don't tell. So if they don't ask, oh, while my vehicle is in the shop, do I get some rental for that? Don't tell them that. Even though it's California's law to tell them oh, your vehicle is in the shop and we're going to give you rental because it's in your contract. They don't tell you about the shiesty things when, first of all, I got this job via temp agency. So, mistake number 1. I show up on my first day and I realized that my pay was $3 less than some other trainees. Now, not to be smug, but I was like, okay, so I have a master's and I have temp agency work experience. I don't understand why me and a high schooler can't get the same pay. And I tried to rally everyone, if we rally together, all of us can get the same pay. And no one was going for it because, oh no, they promised to hire us. And so if you ruffle feathers on the first day of training, they might just cut you. Flash forward 1 year later, 6 months after I left, I am talking to my old supervisor because she's actually a human. And she was like, oh, so we stopped the project or we canceled the project and we moved all the jobs to China and Mexico. I mean, no hate to China and Mexico. The people you should be side-eyeing is actually the CEOs, because the reason they were hiring us via the temp agencies is that although people were working 40 hours a week, if you hire them via temp agency and keep promising a job, you don't have to do things like pay time off or health insurance or any other type of, things that people need to live. And also you can fire people for no reason, just because. Other things this company made us do, or some of the way they worked, we had two types of contract. One was just a maintenance contract, and the other was, one was a maintenance and one was for your vehicle parts. And what they did was they worked with really slimy car dealerships that resold luxury vehicles. Who is buying a secondhand Mercedes-Benz and then thinking that their insurance is going to be top of the line is a fool. And so in the contract, they would list all the parts that are covered, but they wouldn't list the parts that are not covered. And you would think, oh yeah, this makes sense, list all the parts. Pause. Do you know how many parts are in a computer? Do you know how many parts are in a vehicle? So when you get a 10-page contract, look at all we cover, but in actuality, they're listing 2 door screws, the roller, but not the brake pads. And you're not a mechanic. What are you going to do? Look up all these parts? And so people would often call for things that are bound to break, and then they would be oh, this is not included in your contract. And then people would say, oh, but the guy at the dealership told me it's a bumper-to-bumper warranty. And even though the company knew that the dealerships were advertising them as bumper-to-bumper, they would just say things either, oh yeah, it's we cover things from at the front of the car and at the end of the car, but not everything in there. That's not what bumper-to-bumper is. Or they would say something oh, the description of this contract is not in our control, so we can't punish the dealerships because the dealerships are a separate company. Even though, if you think about it, it should be one company, or at least more people should be held liable to lying to people about these bumper-to-bumper warranties. It was crazy. But let's go back to the abuse of the employees. When I started training, I did 60 calls a day. Afterwards, they wanted us to do 80. And then they kept pushing us to do 120, higher and higher. I consistently left my number at 80 because, look, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not getting paid more per claim. I'm not getting bonus for breaking people's hearts. And First, they stopped taking off the timer between the calls. So before you used to have a 5-minute break, and then you just have a 0-minute break, because it's just new person. And then they were hey guys, everyone is getting a promotion. Pause. First of all, I thought I didn't work for you, so how am I getting a promotion? Second of all, this promotion was basically more responsibility, learning more about vehicles, even though we weren't mechanics. And because we weren't mechanics, we weren't allowed to get paid top dollars. And at the end of it all, with all this extra responsibility, they still didn't increase our pay, and they didn't even offer people real employment. And so I'm working on this job, and I realized that I have to use what is it called? The power of the poor, or protest of the poor. I forgot what it's called. And basically, I just, y'all want to be Shiesty? I can be Shiesty too. So it's thank you for calling customer service. This is Anisha. How can I help you? First thing I'm going to do is put you on hold so that I can look for your contract. And while I'm looking for your contract, I am watching reality TV. Then when you call, the next thing that they want to do is ask you to get to the root of your problem ASAP. But I am the kind of listening person. I want to know, how's your day going? Right? What about this vehicle? What do you like about keep this call running as long as possible. Then, if I had a bad customer and they really irritated me, I realized that our monitors were tracked, and so I couldn't drag my mouse to hang up the phone. But they also were about that wrinkly technology life. So if I kicked my foot, it would jiggle the phone cable and And one time I was talking to this guy and he was really upset that I couldn't find his contract, and I tried to tell him for the life of me, that you are not an assistant. And I put him on hold, but he wasn't on hold, he was actually on mute. Well, I was on mute. So this is the thing, if you call a big company and you do not hear telephone music, trust and believe that these people can hear you on the other end. If you hear music, then you're fine to talk whatever you want, you're not on the record. And so I have this guy on hold, and every time he says, "When is this?" Beep, I say, "Hi, hold one moment, my supervisor's coming." Mute. And I wrote it for a half hour. He was like, "And I think I'm gonna hang up this call." "No, you're not. Hey, my supervisor, he apologizes profusely. He is on his way. He's gonna talk to you. Just hold on." "All right, ma'am." Mute. And then the Holy Spirit came to me, and I was like, I think my supervisor is gonna come because we need to finish these calls in 5-10 minutes tops. And I'm on here on 30 minutes, and I just decided, you should jiggle this cord. And he pops up and he's like, "Hey, difficult customer?" "No, just solved it." I want to say insurance is a sham. But most importantly, as the small people, we have things that we can do to fight the system, and we shouldn't we just shouldn't stop at today. We should keep going, and all the small things will count. And maybe that company will bring jobs back to America. Hopefully not, because they're pretty, shiesty.